Welcome everybody back to another match here on Champions League. I tonight am Uncle Zan, joined by my buddy Ufin. We're here for the matchup of the week. We've got Team Reapers versus Thunderbolts, two absolute titans here in the league. Thunderbolts being our #1 power ranked team here tonight, and Reapers being number 4th. So two titans here in Champions League going to be battling it out here on the pitch tonight. We'll have to see exactly which way that domino will fall. Ufin, do you have any predictions for us as to maybe which way this might go, which direction the momentum might swing in?
Well, I mean, I guess good question. We can look at the teams to kind of get an idea of what we're doing here. We have you on the stream as well now. Disappear for a quick second. No, the teams rostered with on the Thunderbolt side, we have Daniel, Zyrek, and Kat. Daniel, actually the franchise leader, franchise owner, playing unretired, came out of retirement. Came to play. Then we have Ivy as their sub, and overall this team is, you would expect them to perform mid with their mid rating, all of them being very close to that GC1 spot, and Cut being, just a solid diamond. Pardon, Champ 3. That's a big mess up there. Or Champ 2 is that? Give me just a second. That should be a... I should know these numbers by this point from heart. Champ 1.
I was gonna say
I should know these numbers by
does
heart.
that the salary is purely, and correct me if I'm wrong, calculated based off of the player's rank and peak rank, correct?
Yes, correctly. There
Yeah,
is a
okay,
formula
gotcha.
for it, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
and on the Reaper side, we have the one, the only, Rab from CSA being the definitive carry for the Reapers team. Shadow Dweller needs to perform tonight if they want to win this, if they want to get a clutch win. Like our team, who actually won their first series against Tier 1 yesterday on the team stream. Like our team, Shadow Dweller's team also depends on him. If he performs, their team performs, because they have a great high cell, they have a great low cell, and it all just hinges on that one midfield player there. So
Well, we have seen Shadow become a bit of a sort of a playmaker in some of these matches, contributing to the midfield passes and rotating out very aggressively, getting those demos and things like that, which can be very, very helpful. But I will say it does tend to be a bit of an issue if you're passing and demoing, but maybe not securing the shots that you might need to secure as your sort of I guess I would consider the mid-sal, at least on this team, to be a bit of a cleanup crew, a bit of a janitor, sitting in that, lurking around in that midfield for Rob whenever he goes on one of his ridiculous solo plays and just sort of leaves it in the middle of the field, which we see all too often. Shadow could just be lurking there to sort of clean up for him, which might be a bit of a strategy change, but it could work really, really well for the Team Reapers here.
Oh, definitely. Well, hopefully we see that on the pitch, but before we get our players seated and ready in their vehicles, let's look at the week that has been with you on the screen as well momentarily. Okay, perfect. The week that has been, we've had some upsets, we had some, on paper, well-looking series. For example, the series Team Bloom against Duality was one of the, I wouldn't call it an upset as the favorite one, but they won in a landslide fashion with a 3-0 over Duality. Then we had the first ever win for Nameless Esports, 3-1 over Tier 1. Nameless Esports' first win in Champions League. Good on them. And the other series, was there any that surprised you personally?
I mean, Lag versus Metal Turtles, both those teams are pretty equally rated as far as I'm concerned. But then Lag sort of, I believe Lag is the higher rated team there. They ended up kind of losing it there in the middle of the series and allowed Metal Turtles to kind of take the series into their own control, which was a bit of a surprise since I haven't seen that look out of Metal Turtles before. So I'll be interested to see if Metal Turtles can keep that up into the coming weeks for sure.
Definitely. And I'm seeing some banter in the chat here, Nez. We'll see. We saw what the scrims held against your team. We'll see. Anyway, now to get our players onto the pitch so we can get this party started tonight with the most expected match of the week, if my game would listen to me, and barring some little lag, we're on the pitch live now. I need to check if my PC isn't doing some magic behind the scenes. No, it should be fine. And Rob from CSA performing his magic as if on cue here. Got with a bad pass out midfield off the wall, and Rob just collecting a freebie here.
Yeah, this is just classic Rob coming out, getting on the pitch, saying good luck, have fun, and then putting one in your net right in front of your dome. That is classic Rob for you. He's on a couple of different occasions compared himself to Squishy Muffins, so that's a. I mean, let me say that's a lot. Those are big shoes to fill, you know. But if anyone can do it, I'm pretty sure Rob can. As we see Rob coming over here, helping Drew the Jew out in the corner there, getting a nice controlled flick over one. Cut has no boost, but Zyrek there to save him away. Ivy now up, trying to get a single touch, controlled with boost now, but Shadow Dweller getting in the middle there, trying to break things up a little bit for Drew the Jew to fly through the air. He's not quite getting the hit that he was looking for, though. Ivy now saving it back down the field. Zyrek with the doink up. Cut to the backboard. We'll see if he can do anything with low boost, but no, Rob now with the nice controlled touch, but zero boost. He will have to play for a 50. Ivy now sending it back down the field. Shadow Dweller taking the demo for that hit, and that's going to be a very awkward situation. Drew the Jew coming out of nowhere, not quite getting the hit on net, and that will be saved away on the goal line. Zyrek now with the counterattack opportunity. This is back and forth, and I see why everyone's saying this is going to be the Titan match of the week here, Ufin.
Oh yeah, we can see that immediately in the first minute here, even with that sneaky goal from Rab with the small little mistake from Cut. This is definitely going to be a defensive ordeal with only one player on the Reapers team being able to do anything offensively. Shadow. And the entire team of Thunderbolts having to kind of play together as one cohesive unit. If they somehow mess up even one rotation, Rab is going to be able to break them down very easily. As we now see Zyrek going up to the backboard, Drew able to corral, Ivy with a serve up, no, Shadow may be able to get something in the midfield now. Zyrek getting that 100 boost, up for it first, and Rab hanging back, Drew on 0 boost, a nice flip reset from Zyrek, Ivy with the serve up, and it's in over Drew the Jew.
What a beautiful passing play coming out from Thunderbolts here to secure their 1-goal margin back. Flip reset off of Zyrek down to Ivy. A beautiful passing play. That's exactly the chemistry that we need to see from this Thunderbolts squad, as they are averagely a little bit lower sal than a couple of these players here on the side of Reapers. Reapers does have Rob as a very, very strong carry character, but can one Titan match up against 3 that have proven here on the Champions League pitch that they can perform week after week? Shadow Dweller making a good attempt. Ivy now back to cut it off. Will get a nice controlled touch up and over one. Taking it down the field. Pass Drew to Jew. Rob there to save it away on the goal line, as he always is. And that's a beautiful pinch. That might just go in.
And that did go in indeed. Rob from CSA getting a nice 50 here off Zyrek. Just unfortunately, again, we see this happen a lot of times with lower cell players rushing the play into the higher cell just on defense, and the higher cell is able to collect themselves, compose themselves, and get a nice redirect out and into the net most likely. And here we have Ivy now going in. Zyrek, when they get it right back with a nice passing play. Again, this Thunderbolts team needs to be one unit. They need to think as one person, as you're seeing right here.
Well, and I am liking it. The one thing that I do see from a lot of GC1s that sort of not only just perform here, but even perform in the game where I've been, GC1 a few times and ranked. A lot of the time, those folks, you see that they're really consistently chemically bound, and they have some really, really good pass plays getting put together, and then all of a sudden, somebody intercepts one of those pass plays, and that chemistry is just completely shot. And, it gets sent down past you. You're not quite ready for it, and it really hurts the mentality. I'm really curious to see if Thunderbolts can sort of respond here, as Zyrek responding here on the that goal line save. Beautifully done from him. Ivy now down the field. over Drew the Juice head. Not going to be able to get the double touch there, though. Shadow now forced to play around in the corner here. Thunderbolts kind of playing a bit of a game of keep away here. It does look like they've had a bit more of the majority of possession here, even though Shadow Dweller and Rob keeping these air dribbles going in the air. They aren't really threatening too much, Ufin. I don't really know what to do for Reapers here, because they did look really, really good here at the very beginning with Rob coming out and scoring a couple goals, but now it's just kind of stalemate.
I do believe it is that composure they're lacking in their first game. Of course, Rab is going to perform on his own, but if Shadow isn't there, if Drew is, not performing out of his mind on the given night, it is going to be difficult for them to get anything into the opposing team's net, as they cannot really rely on Rab to always be that one of Magician as Shadow, maybe able to put something in. No, Ivy with a great denial goalpost. Goal line side. Shadow with a demo on him now. Drew the Jew may be able to challenge, cut up and above. Rab from CSA now. It's sent up to Drew the Jew, maybe a redirect. No, barely doesn't get a touch. Cut now into midfield, double committing with Ivy, double committing with Zyrek, but luckily they escaped by Rab. Sorry, Shadow. Rab on defense now. Ivy with the challenge, nice block by Rab. Drew the Jew able to clear, but just into cut. Mid, Shadow clears. Beautiful clear here, and with 10 seconds remaining, we might be able to get into overtime, but no Rab. Cut! A beautiful save from Cut and Ivy. Drew the Jew with the shot on. Ivy clears it over him, and maybe if we don't see any more shenanigans here, we are going into overtime.
That last 10 seconds of play was an absolute masterclass. The pitch from Cut straight down middle, saved away on the goal line, and then, returning it back downfield for another counterattack. Even before that 0-second goal. Both these teams proving exactly why we call them the Titans of Champions League here. Ivy now up the wall. We'll see if they can do something interesting with it. They get it up in the air, but Rob is going to be back to save it away. See if Rob can respond in kind. Will get demoed, so it will be up to the rest of Reapers to put this together. Ivy in the air yet again. Gets the 50 under one, but Shadow, again, saving that one away, not allowing them to get any further down the field in this overtime. Ivy with the beautiful pass over one. Zyrek not able to follow up, though. We'll see if Ivy can double here. Saying Ivy a lot. We'll see if they can clutch up. Drew now saving it down, way back downfield. This one's just going to keep getting pelted towards the orange backboard, but it's not going to go in. Rob now with a shot opportunity. Straight out to Drew. That's going to fall center and Cut. Able to save it away. Very high tensions here in game one overtime, Ufin. I don't see it going any other way besides for one of these teams making the most minor of mistakes. And as I say that, Direct finds the mistake and punishes. 3-2.
Jesus Christ, yeah, I do believe here we just had an awkward situation on defense. Shadow committing himself a little too deep. Rab being left in an awkward position, and Drew the Jew just lacking the experience to be able to snake himself out of it. Looking at the scoreline here, Ivy putting his team on his back, and it is apparent with the 815 points scored just right behind him. We do have Zyrek with the 2 goals, doing more here officially with the goals scored, but again, the saves on Ivy's back are just, that's just something we have to take into consideration here. And on the other side, we have Rab performing. Shadow almost tying Drew the Jew with his points. That's not a good look here from the team captain.
No, I mean, we were talking about how Shadow needed to kind of step up, and I would like to see after this first game if maybe Shadow can, warm up a little bit. It did seem like Shadow might have been a little bit discombobulated in that first match. Maybe it was nerves. Maybe it was just going up against a team such as Thunderbolts, power ranked 1. It's going to be a tough situation for just about anybody in this league, but anyone can do it. Reapers probably can. We'll see if they can lock in and put it together here. Rob now in the air. See if he can get something down the field. He does get something down the field, but it's not anybody there to collect from the side of Reapers. Reapers now pinching it down the field. Shadow out to Drew. Saved away by Ivy, and I don't think anybody's going to be back for that, and that's going to be a first blood for Thunderbolts.
Ooh, this is interesting here. I do believe they kind of overextended here. Rab cheating up a little too far, thinking Drew the Jew has that touch, but Ivy getting just barely his bumper into that one, sealing the deal, and a goal for them in the first 30 seconds of the match. 2 here. Ram with the sand, maybe able to follow. No, Ivy clears again. Ivy being a big, big player here in these matches, not majorly with his goal scoring, but with his ability to be everywhere around the pitch. We need to see something like that come out from the Reaper's bunch as well. Maybe in the person of Shadow Dweller, as there. I'm seeing Drew the Jew be on the offensive more than Shadow. Are you seeing the same thing?
Yeah, like I was saying, it would have been nice to see Shadow kind of take that role that Drew's playing right now, where Drew might not particularly have the game sense or game awareness to kind of be in the right place in the right time in those midfield plays where they aren't particularly passes, but they're kind of those cleanup crew plays, like I was calling them earlier. If Shadow was there instead of Drew, it might make a little bit more sense for them, as Shadow has a lot more time in this game, racking up the rank of GC1, GC2, and you don't get to that rank without, first, working some of those skills and talents, which I know Shadow does have, the ability to react quickly to some of these more odd touches here in the midfield. But it does look like they're kind of sitting here on their heels a little bit, resting on their laurels, as Ivy fires another one into the back of the net, and that'll grow the score margin to 2-0 for Thunderbolts.
Oh, this is something. I do believe, if my memory serves me right, Ivy has been dumped from the SBC crew. I wonder if SBC is currently regretting dropping Ivy, as he is performing so well right now for the Thunderbolts.
I was gonna say they might be kicking themselves a little bit. I definitely would be if I, was watching this and watching the way that Ivy was moving right now. Ivy is probably, arguably, the quickest player on this pitch right now, as I've just seen Ivy like rotating around, grabbing that boost, and immediately getting back into the play. Which normally, like we were talking about, the pushing up and being a little too aggressive is something that we see from these GC1 squads, but for Thunderbolts here, the chemistry is just so good, and the game sense and the awareness is so good that they are able to sort of cut around each other, and that might be some of the work that they've done with their coach, I believe.
Definitely. And I mean, their coach, I don't even know who that would be, but certainly doing wonders for them. I'm seeing a little pushback.
I might be wrong.
We do have to look at that. That is information that has slipped my mind as of right now. But whatever they're doing, it is working for them currently. I'm just seeing a little pushback here from the SBC side, correcting me on Ivy not being dumped, but rather being, out of options, is what I'm seeing here. I would be surprised if they wanted to dump him, as he gets his hat-trick on the game here with the serve up from... Was that the defender? Was that Drew the Jew kind of... it was Shadow getting bumped there by Zyrek.
Yeah, it's just a really unfortunate situation here for Reapers. They're looking, Rob's not able to really get any plays started here against this Thunderbolt squad. They're just shutting him down so early, and so it's forcing Drew and Shadow to kind of get involved a little bit more, but they're just not quite getting the touches that they need to, as evidenced right there. Rob saving it away for him. You just can't go up against a team like Thunderbolts and miss as many balls as they are. But it's an unfortunate situation. We'll have to see if maybe that's just the nerves, as Ivy fires another one downfield and puts another one in the goal. At this point, I don't know. Even though they have a minute 25 left, I would just say skip, go next. Focus on the next match, and maybe just try and get your spirits up going into the next one and mount the reverse sweep.
For sure, definitely here. I would say Shadow Dweller needs to definitely warm up those wheels, because the play here that allowed Ivy to score the fourth one on the game was a missed clear by Shadow, and we just need to see that clean up a little. We need to see that defensive. We need to see those touches be a little more precise. Balling Ivy. Oh, that was so close there. Cat maybe getting the save. Shadow reading the bounce off the crossbar, and in bringing them a little dignity, not hope, I wouldn't say, but a little dignity at least going into game 3.
No, but this is exactly what I was talking about there, Oof. And Shadow just kind of sitting there right behind Rob as he takes it up the field, really nice and controlled. hits a solo play, and even if it doesn't go in, it does manage to bang off that crossbar and find its way mid, which is exactly why Shadow's there as a cleanup crew to kind of just respond well and clean up after Rob, who's their star player. If you're gonna put a star player on your roster, you got to be able to play around that person, and that's kind of the missing piece that I've seen from this Reaper squad here is that they send Rob up and then they don't particularly follow him up on a lot of his plays.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. We see Druid kind of flailing in that here at 30 seconds winding down. We do not have much action in front of us in this game too. Shadow maybe getting a nice clear here. Druid able to clear into Ramp. A nice send mid, but no one there to collect. Ivy maybe with the send out. And this game is just winding down. Ooh, Zari with a nice redirect, but the Rab able to collect composedly on the backboard there. Shadow maybe a little miscommunication here as they both are left on 0 boost. Druid the only one back, but with 5 seconds left, this is a done deal moving into game 3. And I do believe we will have to see a switch of rosters for Reapers. They do have their sub. Well, technically Druid Jew is their sub, but King Savage would be the one subbing in for him currently if they do so choose to make a small move into game 3. Hopefully it helps them.
I'm curious to see if they do decide to switch that around. As far as I can tell, I believe they've had a lot more playtime with the roster of Rob, Shadow, and Drew, just kind of in scrims and in ranked. From what I've talked about them, I talked to them about. It does seem like this is the roster that they're more comfortable with. However, that being said, it's just not working. It's just not working, and so you can't kind of keep going through 3 consecutive matches and be like, "Oh, this one will be different probably." I have a hard time believing that Reapers will kind of suffer from that mentality. Maybe they'll make a switch and maybe they'll try something out a little bit. If they do decide to keep going with the same roster and they do decide to kind of run it back, which is looking increasingly likely as we watch them already up for this next match, uh, I don't know how it's going to work out for them. Maybe they'll switch the strategy with the players that are on the pitch. Maybe that'll help them out.
Maybe.
Honestly, Ufin, I'm not sure.
But we'll definitely be getting a service switch here as we get the black screen of doom. 1 second as I get the players ready up once again. RL server is just being a real anything you want to call it. That is
Uh,
not allowed for me to say on this official broadcast.
don't you just love RL servers, man? It's just, honestly, it's the only thing that I've ever said that I love about this game. And in case you couldn't tell, that was sarcasm.
I think we could tell. I think anyone who has even sniffed the wind around Rocket League could tell that was a copious amount of sarcasm just delivered straight up. And we have our teams joining now. We have Reapers joining first, Thunderbolts maybe a little early, jumping the gun as I did post the new name before before I got the lobby up. Hopefully they join within a few seconds.
I love
Let
K
me
Dash in chat. Some of the servers ever.
some of the
That's
some
probably
of
most real stuff I've ever heard. Some of the most servers of all time.
yes, some, they are definitely servers. Some of the best, some of the most servers, mostly servers. Okay, we have the Thunderbolts crew ready as well, and since we have you in here, we can give them the green light and get this game 3
Sweet.
underway.
You love to hear it. Game 3, where all of the dreams are either made or broken. As we follow these 2 titans of Champions League, Reapers and Thunderbolts. Shadow getting off to a very good start there, but not quite confirming the goal that they probably needed to get to change that momentum early on here. It was a nice situation to find themselves in the first 5 or 10 seconds of the game, but unable to be capitalized on. Rob now trying to look for some sort of aggressive play, maybe. Drew switching it up a little bit, getting into the Octane. That might help him out a little bit, get him a little bit more comfortable in his own skin. Shadow now missing the save off the backboard, and Drew having to follow up there. It is looking a little bit close to the same game, but I won't speak too early here because I have been known to sort of eat my own words as Drew sails across the map and buries one into the back of the net. Beautifully done from our, masterclass of a diamond, Drew the Jew.
I mean, For a second there, I thought that was Rab flying up, as they do now have a similar looking preset with the speed and accuracy that Drew delivered here. I genuinely thought that was Rab up to the challenge there, as Rab actually whiffs on his defensive work here, having it be in the corner for Shadow. A bad touch here, Drew being left behind, missing now. And we have Zyrek up missing as well, just a whiff fest, everyone catching the common cold. Ivy with a beautiful redirect Shadow there to stop it. That would have been a clippable moment, if anything. Zyrek, midfield, got. Rabsi juked, and that is his left corner. Just a beautiful, beautiful fake to beat Rab and get it into the goal.
Yeah, I really thought Shadow had a touch there, and I think the rest of his team did too. Kind of put them at a disadvantage as they sat on their heels there waiting for it to come to them, and unfortunately that being their undoing, as they will be tied up here 1-1 at the 3-minute and 40-second mark. Game 3. We'll see if Cut can do something with it. Does get the flip reset and followed up by Ivy, but not confirmed. Rob now sending it back down the field to Zyrek. Zyrek in the corner will get a single touch out. Flip reset over 1. Drew to Drew there to challenge into the corner, and Shadow bouncing that one up and out. We'll see if Rob can capitalize. Not a very good position for Rob, but he does get the double. Zyrek off the back wall. See what he can do with it. Doesn't quite get the second touch. Shadow now forced to control both these teams. Very, very back and forth here in game 3. No one wanting to make a mistake that would be punished by a goal, as they are both tied up here, and Reapers looking to mount their own reverse sweep here. Again, like we say it, if anyone can do it, it's going to be Reapers, but they just made their job a lot harder by letting that one in. Zyrek, nice little pop-up and a bump off Rob there, securing the goal. Oof, and I don't really know what to do here if you're the side of Team Reapers.
Nothing to be done here, especially against people who can deliver such beautiful, even if half-done edible bumps. If Rab cannot perform and cannot put his team on his back at this point, I think it's a done deal. They do have over half the game remaining to do something, but Zyrek is getting dangerously close to making that dream whittle away a little more. Rab now off the ceiling. This ball not being dangerous at all, as the Reaper's bunch is on defense now mostly. And I mean, this kind of is, to me, boiling down to just Shadow not having a night and Ivy having too much of a night. Rab maybe bowling everyone. Drew there, and the serve up. Yes, it finally worked for him. At least one play. A nice serve up here from Shadow into Rab, into Drew, that you able to finish under Ivy.
I mean, Shadow got bumped away there, but he still managed to grab a nice little touch there over to Rob, and you know, at least to get it into a position where it was at least semi-scoreable for Rob. Rob not quite getting the touch that he wanted to, but Drew the Jew there to follow up, and that's kind of what we need to be seeing from these two lower ranked players. We just need to see them there and ready to follow up off of the back of Rob. We keep saying it match after match here, and unfortunately not quite seeing the changes, but we are seeing glimpses of exactly what Reapers could look like when they are in form. As Rob sends one down, see if he can follow up on it. Zyrek saving it away to the corner, following up very quickly downfield to Shadow. Shadow with the touch clears it downfield again past the midfield line. Low boost will take a shot. Ivy saving it off net. Rob now out to the center field, cutting that one off, and Drew the Jew forced to try and make a control play, but doesn't quite get the control that he was looking for. Ivy down to Zyrek. Zyrek not getting the double that they're looking for. Rob straight back down the field, but Shadow has no boost to cut that one off. Ivy will play that a little awkward. Rob now forced to follow up. Rob towards the middle of the field. Man, this is very back and forth, Ufin. Very back and forth as Rob looks for another shot, pinging it off the inner side of that crossbar, and that's a painful one. That's got to be hurt. That's gonna hurt the mental a little bit.
That is an Ufin setup if I've ever seen one. Shadow had one at the start of this game, missing that close corner shot, and now Rab just missing an open over those two players. It has to sting, those kind of just slightly miscalculated, misleaned angles, as he puts one off the post again, but this time he's able to get it back into the top corner. This is something here.
Man, I mean, 3-2, and it's just gonna be a tough one to kind of claw back from for Thunderbolts if Rob can keep
Ooh.
playing in this kind of peak form that he's kind of it's like when you corner a wounded animal and they just kind of step up and get that last like hysterical burst of strength, you know. And I think that's kind of Rob right now. He's just kind of coming out, and he cornered him and backed him into a corner, and now he's got to perform, which is the clutch king himself. See if he can kind of keep this 2-goal lead going. Oh my goodness.
Jesus
I
Christ.
can't even cast that one. I don't even know what happened there, but every single person from Team Reapers committing on that goal line save, not letting that one go. It's 20 seconds will count down now. They are going to hold this lead into the final 10. Man, Ufin, I don't think either of us would have predicted that Reapers would have come out on top here, but Rob, with an absolute legendary performance.
I mean, someone had to step up, and I said if Rab doesn't do it, if Rab doesn't put the backpack on his back, maybe one more to send him into the showers with. Rab here, yes, putting one more over Zarek, finishing the hat-trick here, and putting the Reapers team on his back. We need him to perform if Shadow does have a game off. If she doesn't, then, well, you know, this could still be a nice tight series going into potentially a game 5 and to an exciting matchup on Champions Field. The reverse sweep's still kind of in hopes for the Reapers team as we're getting closer and closer to that dreaded game 5, game 4 stanza. Looking at the score, Rab did kind of wake up in this game, getting 684 points on the board, 3 goals, 7 shots, just peppering the backboard and the net of the Thunderbolts team. And speaking of the Thunderbolts, 400 score from Zyrek, Ivy being kind of left in the dust there with just 2 saves and 1 shot to his name. We need to see a resurgence from the carry, unless that was, you know, the only like kind of moment there from the Thunderbolts where they were able to just play absolutely out of their minds. What do you think needs to happen here for the game to be finished for the Thunderbolts?
I mean, Thunderbolts just need to keep continuing that chemistry that they had in those first 2 games. We've seen it time and time again. Thunderbolts proving that their chemistry and their play time together has solidified them into an absolute titan of this league. You know, it's hard to point out specifics, but each one of these players has had moments that I've seen where they have, you know, shot opportunities or you know, a beautiful pass heading their way, and they just don't particularly get the correct angle that they need. So maybe focusing a little bit more on the accuracy side of things to sort of you know, send things home, really kind of you know, solidify this or confirm this win for Thunderbolts would be kind of my bet on this. But you know, do you have any other takes on it? Does Reapers, like, you know, they just kind of wake up and turn on now and then now they're unbeatable, or do you think Thunderbolts really still has a chance to kind of bring this back?
I mean, they should still have a chance to just kind of lead this into the game 4, into their win 3-1, as the teams are again here after a second server shutdown. Lovely, thank you, Rocket League. But no,
The sum of the servers of all time. Some of the servers.
of the servers of all time. But no, genuinely, I think Reapers do have it in them to bring it back. I think if Shadow just regains her confidence, regains her composure here, and will be able to perform for them, it's going to flip on its head. And if Rab keeps it up from that game 3 performance, I think he just needs himself, for that matter, honestly. You bring them in, and as it goes for the Thunderbolts, they need more team plays. They need Ivy to step up again. They need one carry that is able to step in for those team plays, as we see one here, Kat and Zyrek linking up here in the position's goal area. And a nice send off the ceiling into a lurking Cat Shadow that are just not able to get to that one.
This is that chemistry though that I was talking about, Ufin. I mean, they come out time and time again showing that they're kind of just in sync, playing a little bit like those 2 twins from Falcons. A little bit same brain going on, but Rob not eager to let that goal margin grow anymore. So he's going to put a stop to it, tie it up. 4:30 left on the clock, and that will be a 1-1 scoreline.
I mean, we almost saw Ivy get back to that one, as Rab kind of had to slow down to control the ball after that unfortunate bumpage, and Zyrek overextending there. Could have gone either way, but it's nice to see them back 1-1. The game being essentially restarted with enough time on the clock to call it a full game. And Rudichu may be able to get to the ball now before Ivy around him. Now Zyrek again. Shadow going, waiting there for it. Good patience from her. They're up from CSA now. Ivy may be able to collect the Rab. Ooh, faked out by that delay from Ivy and a turtle goal for the man, the myth, the legend.
Just an unfortunate one for Rob there. Rob, you know, a little bit lower boost, but not able to protect the whole net there from the backboard as that shot just comes sailing right at the net. And that one's kind of off the back of Shadow there. Her touch was probably not the greatest thing in the world, but I don't think it was, you know, a terribly comfortable touch made by her. But she is definitely trying to get back into the game. I see it here. I see them, you know, really, you know, rotating around and trying to get back into the play, which is kind of what we need to see from her. We need Shadow to kind of pop up here and lurk in the shadows, but Ivy solidifying why they might be the MVP here in this game. So they add another one to the scoreboard.
Nasty fake on Rab, just catching him jumping for joy there with that small little break tap, and Drudiju's just being caught being Drudiju, a diamond in the backseat and unable to compose himself in time. Get that save of Ivy. Beautiful, beautiful juke over two players. Now a send from Zyrek over Shadow Dweller, getting a touch there off backward and unable to follow. Cut Rab from CSA on 0 boost now. The Reaper's team dwelling on Shadow being able to keep that ball in there. Clear over to Jurab getting boost midfield. Ivy unable to get it on net, but maybe a redirect off the corner. Not really falling in Cat. Maybe over Shadow now. Touch Shadow down. Zyrek. Rab kind of awkward. If he can get it mid, Cat will be maybe lurking there. Shadow on 0 boost. The Reaper's squad completely drained of their go juice. Rab from CC now juking two, bumping one, but Cat sacrificing his body on the plate to get them safe and sound. On their side, Zyrek with the musty, failed attempt. Shadow overextended Rab now. Ivy back in the corner. Rab getting there. Ivy. Rab with beautiful control here, but Cat able to challenge. Zyrek. Shadow a little overextended here. Drudiju with a nice 50 out mid. That's for Cat there. Ooh, a nice bump. Ivy able to follow, and it is in. The bump plays again, sealing the deal for Thunderbolts.
Man, Thunderbolts coming out in this game, game 4, and turning around and like looking like the team that they were in those first two games. Man, their chemistry is just absolutely lightning hot right now. No pun intended off the Thunderbolts name there, but Drew will try and respond in kind. Zyrek saving that one off the goal. I will say this Thunderbolts team, every single time that they don't get a shot, they don't like quite get the shot on. Every single time they make me go, ooh, ooh, you know, making me make noises. And that's how you can tell that this team is putting on the pressure right now. Rob now putting on some pressure of his own and pinging that one right off the crossbar. Ivy with a beautiful save off Drudiju's a wonderful placed shot. You really can't ask for better Rocket League here as Ivy with a wonder touch, hence calling them the Wonderbolts. What is that?
What cell is Ivy again? What is happening? Who is playing that on that control? Ivy is a 240 cell. That is a Champ 3 if I'm not mistaken. What is happening here? Who's giving them G's fuel and who's giving Zyrek G fuel off the kickoff here? With a goal. Rab getting 50 by Shadow overextending and Zyrek just having a nice flick over through the Jew. What is happening? Who's feeding the Thunderbolts team what and where can I get it?
Yeah, the only reason that I had trouble really calling that shot from Ivy there is they had a nice pre-flip into the actual redirect where they actually the flip canceled to sort of keep their car in the correct spot to get the angle and just kind of flew across that net. I don't really expect it to be a redirect into the net, but you know, unfortunately Cut not quite able there to secure the pass, but it does still go into the net. So I guess beautiful shot from Ivy, and I need to read up on my Rocket League terminology, I guess. Cut now with another shot. We'll see if they can blow this score margin up open a little bit wider. 6-1 is not going to be an easy comeback here, and I don't particularly even think it's possible with a minute left, but if there was a team to do it, it would be Reapers.
I mean, the only place at this point I'm waiting to attend is we are in Sovereign Heights, but it would have been more appropriate in this game for to play on Estadio Vida, as we might be seeing a Latin locale if the Thunderbolts get on the board once more. Getting our passports ready and booking a plane ticket to Brazil will be an option here within these final few seconds ticking down. Rab maybe putting an end to that one, getting a flip reset, Cutler King, delaying it, nice, Zyra getting a touch, Shadow committing herself into that backboard clear. Ooh, Shadow almost on-goaling on that clear back. Drew missing the ball up now, going up to the ceiling again, challenged by Cut, not giving any space to the 306 cell. Ivy now around one, it's back mid, Drew awkward, Zyrek, and that is an on-call from Drew almost.
Oh
Everyone whiffing,
my
everyone whiffing.
goodness.
Drew
Wait!
finally able to clear and not for the Thunderbolts Brazil here. That humiliation escaping them thanks to a misplay by Cat and Ivy.
Actually, that was a completely calculated play on Drew's part. Drew knew that if he shot it at his own crossbar, that it would confuse the other team, and then he could go squishy it off the top of that of the goal there, and go right past everybody and down the field and secure a goal. Drew, with the absolute legendary game sense there, I'm calling that calculated, guys. I'm giving him his dues.
That is something as we end the end of the series here. BTA, as some people would say, put on by the Thunderbolts to the Reaper squad. Ram from C is immediately vacating the pitch as the clock strikes 0. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's it for the series. That is it for the most hyped series of the night. At least when it comes to being on the pitch. We might be able to snag some interviews as we have Zyrek already waiting for us, but let's first look at the score sheet here, as we do still have it pulled up. And I mean, Ivy forming again, just wonderfully 4 goals, 5 shots, and 3 saves, getting everything needed for that Thunderbolts roster to edge it out in this final game here. And I'm just, why are we getting players move into here as I'm still yapping about your score, guys? Welcome, everyone. Uncle Zan, any questions for our beautiful winning team here?
I mean, man, just an absolute masterclass of Rocket League exhibited by you guys tonight over at Thunderbolts. Just want to quickly give a huge congratulations to taking that W over Reapers. Do you guys have anything specific that you guys thought really went well this round? I mean, your guys' chemistry seemed a little bit off the charts, but you know, what would you guys attribute that to mostly?
Ivy's the carry. Like Ivy's our absolute carry.
No,
Maybe
not
the goat.
team. Team effort.
I think
No,
we experienced a lot of demo avoidance. Reaper's is a very demo heavy team. So a lot of that, a lot of just playing off comms like we always do, and we just held it together.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll pass it off to Ufin here. I think he's got another one for you.
I mean, I don't even have another one. Ivy, what are they feeding you over there at the Thunderbolts base? Because I need some of the material you're getting fed into your plate. What was that redirect goal you got? Just in front of Rab, you flipped into it awkwardly. It kind of bounced off you into the net, taking an arc just under the crossbar. Why would you even go for that, apart from style points?
Was that calculated?
I was going for a demo and it was just coming at me, so just flipped it. Yeah.
I guess. I mean, as
You heard it
simple as
here
an answer
first,
here.
folks. He flipped into it and it went in. I mean, that's just the game of Rocket League for you there. Real quick, before we kind of get off, because I know you guys probably got some real important stuff to get back to. Going into the next few weeks of this regular season, do you guys have anybody that you guys are super excited to be matching up against? Anybody that even though you guys are ranked highest in the league right now, any underdogs that you guys are a little bit worried about going into the future weeks?
after this, not at all. We've shown with our last performances, even our other performances as well, that it doesn't matter how good of a team you have or how well you perform. We're gonna come out flying, and we're gonna make sure that we're the ones on top in the end.
Hey, you heard it here first, folks. The Wonderbolts coming out flying and being the ones on top. That's wonderful to hear from you guys, and it's a great thing to have that sort of confidence going into the future weeks. Hopefully, you guys can actually keep that up in the mentals, because that's the hardest part. But we love hearing from you guys, and we love even more, watching you guys play on the pitch. It's always a wonderful time to see the Wonderbolts play. But again, thank you guys for joining us tonight and stopping in for the interview. It's always a pleasure from hearing from you guys.
Thank you both for casting and streaming the game.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect.
Yes,
we
thank
wouldn't
you.
No
have,
worries.
we wouldn't have wished it to be any other way. Well, if you guys don't have any other remarks, we will be moving out the door. It is to the left there. If you take a few steps and right.
Stage left. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh man.
We thank
Love doing
Thunderbolts
that.
for the interview, and now let's look at the week that has been and the week that might await us. Just before we raid out to someone, which is something I do need to find, Zan, could you please take the fine folks through what has happened and what will happen?
Yeah, absolutely. We had Lotus and Spacebound Cowboys 1-3 in favor of Lotus. Hydra versus Twisted Isolations 1-3 in favor of Twisted Isolation, or in favor of Spacebound Cowboys, and then Twisted Isolation 3-0 in favor of Team Bloom against Duality. Lone Star Velocity LSV versus HSA Gaming 3-1. They did have an absolute killer game. Lone Star Velocity showing out 1NE, sweeping Infinity Creative with a 3-0 scoreline. In Nameless Esports versus Tier 1, also having a bit of a miraculous scoreline there, 3-1. Well played by both teams there. Most Hated versus Phoenix, sweeping their matchup there. Most Hated taking a 3-0 win, and LAG versus Metal Turtles. Both of them very, very low salary teams, but again, a slugfest from both teams, and Metal Turtles managing to get the win there, 3-2.
Yes, beautiful. That is the week that has been. Now the only thing awaiting us is if Big Up Gaming and Galactic do match up this week. If not, we will definitely see them at some point again, as they are division rivals, as we are with them in Nameless Esports. But for now, that is going to be it from us, from me and Uncle Zan Music, on this historical moment here. The Thunderbolts almost getting a sweep over the Reaper's crew, and we'll be excited to see all of you again in chat some other day, as just Champions League action has to keep rolling, has to keep going, and we will be here to cast it all for you. Peace, everyone.